Hello and welcome to ACS Golf and this bonus video for you guys this week. Don't worry, obviously still every Sunday equipment reviews come out, so don't forget to subscribe to the channel to make sure you get them because you don't want to miss out. There's plenty of cool stuff coming up. Now, if you've watched my channel, you realise that I've recently done a review of the Cobra ltdx and a review of the Stealth, both in 2022, and basically got me thinking, Cobra ltdx is in my bag, that's sort of my main club at the moment, but I've had the Stealth in the bag for quite a while at the moment just to be testing it for that video. And I'm a bit in a sticky situation because I don't know which club I should keep in my bag. So I thought, well, perfect, let's do a video, and that's what today's all about. Taking him down the driving range and we're going to do a head-to-head. Now, what I'll do is I'll put a link in the comments down below so you can watch both of these reviews if you haven't seen them already. Just a little bit low down. These are both sort of the mid clubs that are both aimed at sort of the majority of golfers out there. They're not the low spinning models. If you want the low spinning models, it'd be the Stealth Plus and the Cobra ltdx LS, and they're not the draw bias models. I don't really have a slice normally, so draw bias for me wouldn't help because the way I hit my club, I sort of really bad attack angle, to be honest, and I tend to close the club face, so I would just have even more of a push to the left. So they're the middle range for me. They're not the Cobra ltdx Max, which is the draw bias one for this one, and it's not the Stealth HD, which is the draw bias for this one. Both middle range. Now, I'm testing them both at 10.5 degrees. This is standard 10.5 degrees. It's actually a 12-degree head, but I have lofted it down to 10.5, so it's fair. Both got stiff shafts in there as well. Both with that sort of mid-spin sort of setup. So there you go. Now let's have a quick look at some of the good shots down the driving range. Then we'll get back here and I'll discuss all the figures with you guys and what club is going to go in my bag. Because it's not just necessarily about distance, it's obviously about the feel, it's about the consistency, and it's also about the price, because these both now you can pick up on the second-hand market. If they're very similar, then you might want to go for the cheaper one. Who knows? Anyway, let's see some of these shots and let's get back here and then chat about the figures. Okay. So here we are down at Silvermere. Now, I did about 15 shots with each club, but I've got 3 shots from the Cobra ltdx to show you, and then 3 shots from the Taylormade Stealth to show you. Now, not the best shots, I have to admit, but when it comes down to it, sometimes the trace doesn't work, and unfortunately, you're left with not necessarily good ones, which is the case here, but never mind. Now, one thing I will say about the Cobra is, for me, I haven't actually had this in the bag for a while because I've really been wanting to test the Stealth out, and I found that it's just been so easy to pick up and hit. As I said, it's the first time I've hit it for months, and I just found it the most easiest thing to hit and get some really good shots with it. So very happy with that. And obviously the Stealth, very used to the club at the moment. Had a little bit of a push there, which you just saw in the previous shot, but generally, was happy with the performance of it. And well, we'll get back into the studio and we'll discuss the figures and which club I think wins overall. So there you go, some of the shots down at Silvermere. Now let's jump straight into the figures. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the distance, forgiveness, feel, looks and price, basically, and I'm going to judge both of them against each other and then see who's the overall winner. Now let's jump straight into distance. Now, on average, flat carry for the Cobra was 219 yards, total distance was 249 yards, total ball speed was 157 miles per hour. Really happy with that ball speed. It just shows that I really need to work on my angle attack. I can get that higher, but it tends to go all over the place. So at the moment, happy, at least I'm keeping the ball speed up, even though I'm not getting maximum distance. Launch angle, 8 degrees, there you go, that says everything, and height 53 yards. Now, for the Taylormade, flat carry was 218 yards on average, so 1 yard less, so not that bad. Total distance, though, was 238 yards, so that's a good 11 yards shorter than the Cobra there. Ball speed was very relatively similar, 155 miles per hour, so not that much of a drop. Launch angle 9 degrees, so a little better than launch angle actually, and height 61 on average as well. So I was getting some more height with the Taylormade, which is quite good for winter, you know, get a little bit more carry. Now, so going into that and just looking at numbers, I mean, the longest one for both was 261 yards for this, 255 yards for this. Ball speed was 162 and 161 with this. So still very, you know, ball speed very similar. Total distance, longest, not that far off. I mean, very different ball flights though, and that longest shot for me. This was a launch angle of 12 degrees, so I managed to get up in the air, and this was actually a 5 degree one, obviously just a low spinner. It really did fly. So, sorry, a low shot, not a low spinner actually, because it actually went and still carried a little bit. So I actually got the spin just right, and it did raise up quite nicely. Now, so there you go. Overall, I have to say though, distance is the Cobra for me. It's definitely won that battle. Now, let's move on to forgiveness. So, forgiveness, the worst shot for the Cobra for me on the day was this one here. It was 147 miles per hour ball speed, so quite a bit of a drop off, and 220 yards total distance. Not great. It was really not a nice hit, to be fair, and it did come out at 4 degrees. I went 13 height, so literally just rolled. So not great. With the stealth, it was 146 miles per hour, that was correct. 224 total distance. Launch angle was 9 and 59 height, so obviously just a bad hit. I think just no spin. It just didn't go anywhere, to be honest. So very similar, not bad when it comes down to it. Both really bad hits, but not necessarily that much difference in it. The only thing I will say is obviously the average for the Cobra is higher, which shows that relatively across the face it's better than the stealth. So, because let's be honest, the total distance were quite, the longest one, sorry, were quite similar. So for me, forgiveness goes to the Cobra. It's another win for the Cobra. Now, feel. Very different sort of feeling clubs. Obviously, you've got the carbon face here, and you've got the milled face for the Cobra. Different sort of sounds, but I wouldn't say either or was any better, to be honest. I think they all feel very different, but I wouldn't say either were bad. I know exactly that I felt that I could relatively know if I hit that really bad off centre strikes, not necessarily. And it was a little bit the same for this Cobra. So for me, I'm actually going to say they're tied. I think they both feel quite relatively all right, to be fair. Maybe if I had to really go for one, I'd go for the Cobra, but at the moment I'm saying tied. Now, let's get into the looks. For me, I have to go for the stealth. I love the black look. I love they got stealth written on the top here. I love the carbon face, which is nice and red. Don't get me wrong, the Cobra is a good looking club. The only issue for me is, and I've noticed on a few of them, and especially on the second-hand market, is these stickers here, maybe sometimes peeling off a little bit. And so build quality doesn't feel maybe as nice as the Taylormade. It was a cheaper driver to come out at the time, so I'm not surprised by that. So look for me is the stealth. Now, price. One winner on this. Stealth, you will struggle to find this in the UK anyway, under £200 to under $250. You will struggle to find that in the second-hand market for under that amount. Cobra, on the other hand, you can find this very much under £200, very much under $250. I've seen them go for about £150 for crying out loud in the UK. So price is definitely the Cobra, because the price has dropped considerably. There we go, got it out considerably, and so it's just better value for money. I mean, for some reason, like the rad speed underneath this, it's still the same sort of price. So, but anyway, that wins it for me, the Cobra. So overall, then there is a clear winner when it comes down to me and using these clubs, and the clear winner is the Cobra ltdx. That's what's going to be staying in my bag for the time being, because it is an absolute bomber. The distance great, the price is fantastic. you know, forgiveness is in there in spades. So for me, no doubt for the winner, Cobra ltdx. And there you go, still in my bag, still the king to be knocked off. Now, guys, remember, if you enjoyed this video, do give it a like and do subscribe to the channel. And also, let me know, you know, because you guys out there might have tried both of these clubs. Let me know for you which one's the winner. Okay, guys, I will see you, well, see you this coming Sunday for the next review. See you then. Bye-bye.